Man. So listen, we're gonna do some track breakdowns, get into some jewels, gems, and treasures here. But first, I've got some breaking AZ news, fairly new to me at least.
hmm
A tweet from the illustrious and praiseworthy Ninth Wonder. Listen, people ask me who I would want to work with, and I've tried several times. I really, really, really want to do 7 songs with AZ. Can someone please make this happen?
Wow.
Just 7 songs. This tweet
Yeah, I
is
got a lot.
a mile long.
That's crazy. I got a lot of it, a lot of calls yesterday, last night, and believe it or not, I finally spoke to Ninth. So we're gonna sit down and chop it up. I told him that my album was coming out, which was today. I said, let me just bask in that ambiance for that, and then we're gonna speak top of the week and figure it all out.
But you think it's something that's going to happen?
Definitely can happen. Yeah, listen. I got my boots back on, as they would say. I'm ready.
Wow. The people
Yeah,
are going to love that one, man. This is going
yeah,
to be a
yeah. I
great
got my
collab.
boots on. Yeah, he did it at the right time too. It was strategic and it was smart because everybody really gravitated towards it, and now the expectation is building itself. So that's a good look.
Amazing. Amazing. Now, let me also ask you about the title because you could have named any one of your albums DOD2, right? And then you could have named this album something else. So why specifically that name this go around?
In '95, I signed the contract, but it said when you signed the contracts back then, it was like for 9 albums. I was like, oh shit, I was like, I got to get past the first album. I was a little stuck. I was nervous then, right? But once you get in the game and you get into acclimate yourself into making albums and learning the business, and I felt like now I got to the point where okay, I was on all kind of majors. I never been dropped for my album. I did independent. Now I'm really fully independent. I went through a lot of Sonics, where the East Coast had a lot and the West Coast and Midwest, and went from CDs to digital to stream. I went to so many worlds that I feel like I put out like 8 albums, and this was that 9th album. In my mind, I always kept that in my mind, and I'm like, I completed that contract in my mind. This is a mental thing. As kids, the seeds get planted, they sprouted. Though I no longer was on that contract, in my mind, I remember saying 9 albums, and I was like, that's 9 albums. Some people I heard were signing for 15 albums because each contract or agreement was individually made for that particular artist. No one artist got the same contract. I remember mine saying 9 albums about, and so like when I got to this album, I'm like, yo, the time is now. I've been wanting to put it out since like 13 or 14, 2013 or 14, because I just felt like I completed what I set out to do in the business, and I just like I said through everything that was going on. Once COVID hit, it was like, okay, this either now or never. I get this out. I've been telling the fans the Ben was coming. The time is now, and wow, here we go, 21.
Now, if it's been in the making for that long, and I know you've put out other projects between then and now, but for this one, then how many songs did you make that didn't make the final cut?
There's 13 on here. Well, here's the funny thing. Event Magic, We Moving, Back to Myself. There's a couple of records I was putting out through the course of, which both have been Do or Die too. Save the Peoples with Prodigy and Raekwon. This both have been a Do or Die too, but I just wasn't ready. And so I just said I gotta keep feeding the peoples, let them know I exist. And by the time 2020 came and we was locked in the crib in the house, I think I recorded probably like I was recording Profutious, and then the top of this year I was recording. So 13 made it. I probably had like 16 songs or 17 songs. Like 4 is not on the album, but I had to save it and make it right, and it was like a feel to me. Like you had to feel it. I didn't want to just forcefully throw anything on the album.
Of course, gotta be right.
Yeah.
Now, one collaboration that I'm sure people are gonna have been and will ask you about is that was not on there was with Nas.
Right.
How did that not happen? You guys are, linked throughout your career.
Nasir is a busy man, and the invite was there. It was just a matter of us connecting, which just it didn't happen, And he's doing so much, and I'm like, okay, I got to get back on my bike and do me. So I'm sure we'll meet up again.
I hope so. I was going to say, I think the people, for years as I follow the tweets, one thing that constantly comes up is are we going to get another Firm album?
Right. Yeah. I'm open for it though. I'm here.
Nice.
Because I mean, everybody I'm cool with. Everybody's cool. I deal with Mega, Foxy. Everybody cool, but everybody individually have their own careers, right, to govern. So it's like, when time permits, if it happens, I'm sure it would. But if not, everybody's individually, successful enough to kind of focus on what they're doing.
Man, well, I hope we can put it out there in the universe, and those seeds can grow.
Yeah.
Because I know the people want it.
Right.
I know the people want it.
Right.
So let's get into some song breakdowns, starting with an amazing collaboration on number one. Now, not everybody knows how musically inclined Idris Elba is, but he's actually an incredible DJ from some of the footage I've seen. So how did you two link up for this song?
Right. Idris, well, the album was done, and to me it would sound like a movie. You being a critic of your own creation, I was like, this sound like a movie. I need the intro to be heavy, and speaking to the homies, they're like, yo, you should get Idris. He loves music, and I met him at Rock the Bells when I was on tour with Nas. I forgot what year that was. He was at one of the shows. He was like, he let me know that he loved Life's a Bitch and so forth and so on. And one of the homies knew him, so I kind of reached out to one of the homies, and he was more or less, when I spoke to him, he was like, I really don't do intros to albums. I was like, all right, cool. I'd rather get a no. I got to act. You know what I mean? But he's like, let me hear some of the music. So I sent him a few of the tracks, and he was like, yo, let's do it. Let's get it done. I was like, wow, man, thank you, man. It's a blessing. He was like, nah, I love the music. Let's get it done.
That's dope. Now, does Idris low-key have bars?
He definitely got bars. I heard him on something with Nicki Minaj. I think he got bars. We got to do something. He wanted to really spit on the album, too, but I was like, the album's done. I really want you on it, but the album is done. And once the chemistry and the synergy is there, it's like, I could put you on it, but then it's going to mess up what I've got envisioned. But I'm sure me and him going to do something in the near future.
Dope. I hope so, man. We've gotten some gems already, man. I feel like I'm a good A&R.
That's real. Okay. That's real.
After the conversation with God is just for you.
Yes.
Break it down.
That's Big, man. Big does all Jay-Z, Beyonce music, and so many more. Rick Ross, he does that. His music is so melodic and it's so AZ because I'm more melodic. I don't have that AZ voice where I could go crazy, and I try to, just spins the mind and the ears and the heart. So he played that beat. I think it was the first track he even played for me. I was like, oh, that's it. It reminded me kind of more or less of Give Me Yours off the first Do or Die. It reminds me of that, right? If you listen to the two with the tempo, but then that beat alone just put me in a zone. That the bars that came from that was just like the music brought it out. It wasn't nothing I had to strain and think about. It just like, just speaking my life. And I try to do that with all my songs, just speak my life. And it was just, I needed that for the intro. I just heard the water. I heard them harps on it. I'm like, this is it. I just speak my life on it.
Would you say it was your most personal track on the album?
Nah, I wouldn't say it was my most. I mean, it was my, and I know you probably hear this a lot, but each one of the songs that I do, I give it its own life. And it means something to me, because if it's not coming directly from me, it's coming directly from someone close that I've seen or really felt their pain in some form, shape, or fashion, or their joy in some form, shape, or fashion. So it's really like connected to me. So every song is not just a made up song. Like, it's like, let me just make a rap. I hear that beat, hip hop, hip. Nah, like it's really like it meant something to me. But nah, that one was serious. And even, I mean, we're gonna get to all the songs, right? Because it is like probably like two that's really like touched me when I listened to it again and again. But all of them, I felt like, I put my best foot forward with the point I was making on the song.
Yeah, that's how the best artists connect with the fans. Just telling your life and being real. The first single, I believe, was "The Wheel" from the album. That was the debut video, right? With Jaheim. Did I lose you?
That's you, I think.
Oh
okay,
yeah,
you back.
okay.
That was you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So sorry. So the Wheel was the first single from the album, right?
Yeah.
So
And
you
that
linked up
one.
with Jaheim.
But here's the story behind it. I dropped a song the top of the year called "Different," and I was promoting it. And I got on one of the calls, the DJ calls, and KG was on there. He was like, "Yo, we got to work." And I'm like, "Yo, I'm trying to wrap the album up." And he was like, "Yo, I got something for you." And he sent me some tracks. And it's always, and the reason I deal with these producers, because it's always the first song I hear. And I heard that beat. It's the first song. He sent me it's about 10 tracks. That's the first one I heard. Like, man, I don't want to hear no more. Cause it's gonna throw me. That's it right here. And I listened to it, and I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do with it? So I stepped back. I'm listening to it like for 3 hours straight. Like, wow, this shit it's speaking to me in so many languages. And then I was like, what could really top this shit off? And I know Jaheim is in his camp. I was like, damn, they ain't had Ja in a while. They're trying to knock the brother, you know. I didn't know him personally, but I know he was a great singer. And I reached out to KJ. I like, we need him. He's like, it might be a little hard, but I was like, I don't care how hard it is. Let me ask him. Let's get to it. And we did it, and it happened. And then when I met the brother, he's a good brother, man. Good brother, real grounded, regardless of what you hear, real grounded and stable. And I respect him. You know what I mean? And he did it without any qualms. And that's how a lot of these songs came about. It was really no hassle. And that's the best way to do a lot of things where there's no interruption, no negative energy, and it's just like, it's not force fed. It's like, all right, I'm with it. Let's go. And you can hear it throughout the album that everybody put their best foot forward, and it was genuinely done, not because like, oh well, you lazy, okay, I'll do it, or you know what I mean. So that's the beauty of it. That's one of my favorite songs too, The Will.
Yeah, and by the way, we posted that one on our socials, and I think that was a real indication of like the buzz surrounding this album as a whole, as people were really responding to it. So
right,
that's the ultimate compliment.
Right, that's real.
Track 4, Keep It Real.
Keep It Real is track 4, right? Yeah, that's yes, Baby sir. Paul from the Beat Miners, and that was just that old school hip hop, Spoonie G zone, and I just had to speak about my upbringing and my life and my code of ethics and what real mean to me. You know what I mean? Not what you do or what you've been through, but how you handle it, how you handle situations. That's how you keep it real. So it wasn't braggadocious. It was more or less basically, to me, this what represents a real person, how they deal with situations. You know what I mean? Not how they create the situation, but how they deal with them. And I just spoke from my point of view on it.
Man, so the next one, I'm back in A&R mode. You and Rick Ross. After this, I'm like, yeah, we need that project too, man. That's some real chemistry happening.
Yeah, that was serious, man. That beat, you know, Ross is one of the few artists that I know carried the torch from how we really spoke that life, and you smell it, you could touch it, you could see it, you know. And I really always wanted to do something with him. When I felt like I wanted to put the project out, so I kind of reached out to him directly, and he was like, let's get it done. Let's get it done. Nothing to talk about. I sent him the record, and he sent it right back. And like, was it the same day or the next day? I don't know, but that was real to me, you know?
Yeah, and has he since heard it and you know, spoke on it to you? What did he think about it?
Yeah. Nah, he heard it. He you know, and then we did a few more songs too. We got a few more songs. You know, he had to send his. Like, okay, here go mine. I had to send it back, but I'm looking forward to letting that be the next single. I'm doing a video for that, so I'm trying to make that happen now.
That's what's up. The other songs you spoke on, are those unreleased going to come out?
Not sure.
Well, I hope they do. I think we all hope they do. All the real heads. Track 6, Different.
Oh man, that was just that was poetry in motion. When like the home team hear it, they like, that's just AZ. That's AZ. That's just AZ. I just sat and it was like I was speaking to a psychiatrist. I was just speaking my, you know what I mean, my life into existence. Like, you know what I mean, like where I'm at and what state of mind I'm in and the trials and tribulations I've been through and things of that nature. So that's one of my classics right there. To me, like that's just AZ, right? This is me. My signature stamp. That's it.
Did you now when you said spoke to a psychiatrist, because I have to like dig into that a little bit, because that's something that hip hop doesn't hasn't come around on too much, but like is the value of therapy. Is that, you know what I mean? Like is that something that's like affected your music at all, or, you know, talk about how that's helped your life?
What you mean again? Like say it again?
Oh, well, you mentioned talking to a psychiatrist, and I think therapy
Right.
is something that people are really starting to find the value in, but hip hop doesn't always champion that.
Right.
You know, because obviously there's a lot of like machismo and you know,
Right.
independence
Facts.
and being tough and all that.
I think it's a great release. You know, we was raised to be like that, but as you mature and get older, sometimes you want to speak to people that's not judgmental and basically you can take it all in. And it's like getting a lot of weight off your shoulders and your chest and just venting at its purest form. And I think that comes with growth for a lot of people to really take that in, you know? So, I mean, mostly I advise a lot of people, because a lot of us is damaged in ways, you know, just from society itself and just upbringing without, you know, fathers around or just always fighting and getting in trouble. And it's good to just sit back and just like, yo, that was my childhood. How can I make my adulthood better, you know? And you want to vent with somebody that's not really judgmental to an extent.
Of course. And did it affect your music at all? You think it helped like
No.
open up? No. Okay.
And I don't. I mean, like the music is automatic with me now because we like humans live off like trained behavior. Like once you pattern yourself on a behavior pattern, and it's just like getting up at a certain time and brushing your teeth and how you go to sleep and your ritual you do with that. So with music, for me now, it's like second nature. It's just second nature to me.
Yeah. Man, that's what's up. This next track is a banger as well. Ritual featuring Conway and Lil Wayne. Man.
That was great. That was like one of the last songs, right? And I was like, I needed something. And Alchemist, oh my God, he sent me some music that was so crazy. But that one right there, just, you know, you hear some music just hit you in the gut. For me, that was one of them. And the funny thing is, that's the track I wanted Nas on. And I was trying to make it happen. And then I ran into Conway at a Nets game. We was up in the box, we watching the game. I'm like, yo, man, we gotta make something happen. And he was like, yo, let's get it done. Like this is what we do. Like, you know what I mean? Like this on the bucket list right here for me. Like let's get it done. I sent it to him, sent it right back. I was like, wow. And then I was like, I need somebody else on the album just to balance the album out. Like I always want to deal with a balance. I reached out to Wayne. I was like, yo, I want to do a record. I'm not sure I could get the beat from wherever I'm gonna get it from. I said I kind of got a record with Conway. Give it to me. That's what he said. Give it here. I'm like, wait, nah, just wait. I mean, I could get a record just for me and you. No, I was like, nah, but Alchemist. He said, man, send the shit. I was like, all right, fuck. I sent it. Oh man, he just went crazy.
Man, I hope Nas hears this and jumps on a remix. So everybody.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I hope so, man. It'd be nice.
And let me ask you too, with Wayne, I mean, he's one of those dudes, people forget how long he's been in this game. He's been in it since he was a kid. So
Right.
When did you guys actually first meet or first connect?
When I was at Motown, they was Cash Money was signed to Universal in the same building. I saw them a couple of times, but we never really locked in a zone. You know what I mean? But you know, through passing, I saw him a couple of times. So this one here was the first time we really like, yo, what's up? What's good? You know?
Man, good chemistry too. Good chemistry
Yeah.
on all your collabs on this album, man, for real. This
Thank
is
you,
really
man.
this is really dope. And keeping on that same note, you got a young dude that's really, really kind of riding for what classic and timeless hip hop is, and that's Dave East, who
Right.
I guess to take that all full circle, plays Method Man in the Wu Saga. So
Right.
talk about working with Dave East, somebody that really I feel like is kind of the one that took the torch and kept it going for the sound that you guys started.
He's from that Nas umbrella, and that's my umbrella, and he hustled. He worked. You know, he's not biased or judgmental as well. He's just, you know, if it's good work and he want to deal with you, it's just an automatic thing. I like this.
Oh, I lost you. Hang on. I kind of went slow for a second.
You know what I mean?
We're back.
The record was another on it. Yo, it sounds so much fit for him. I have automatic. It wasn't a delay from nobody.
Nice. I lost a little bit of that, but I think it caught up.
Yeah. I said it wasn't a delay from nobody. Like, it was an automatic thing for him when he heard it. I had the record already at first, with 2 verses on it. But when he heard it, I took a verse off, just let him catch wreck, and that's one of my favorites too.
Yes, and then track 9 is Bulletproof.
Yes, that one there. I had to do something for the ladies. Had to do something, and then Bink once again did that track, and it was incredible. And it gave me enough room to speak my mind and really like get my storytelling into play. Cause I'm a half storyteller at the same time, and I wanted to make a lot of stories on this album, but I didn't get a chance to. But this particular song I was able to, you know, come up with a nice story that is still heartfelt.
Beautiful. Check Me Out, track 10.
Oh man, we ain't gonna talk about that one, man. That's Pete, man. That's Pete. Y'all know what's gonna happen when Pete Rock get busy from the original Do or Die with Rather Unique and Give Me Your, like, that's just Pete. It was something that had to happen. Like, Pete is just, he's hip hop. Pete Rock hip hop, and that's what you got on that. AZ and Pete, the Rather Unique, Give Me Yours, Check Me Out. That's just self-explanatory.
Man, how's that relationship been like? I mean, it's just been so many years, you know, so much chemistry musically, man. I guess talk about like the Pete Rock effect and working with him over all these years.
I mean, just meeting him when he first dropped his first album to now, and then him knowing me before I even dropped the album, for me being on Nas' album. So I knew him before Nas even did The World Is Yours, and just going to his basement and hearing music, to him being on my first album, all the way up to where we at in 2021. It was like we just was happy for each other to still be here and representing something that raised us, that gave us life, and adding on to the culture. You know what I mean? So that's just a blessing right there. Yeah.
Track 11, Time to Answer.
Oh, that's Heat Makers, man. That's another self-explanatory. I needed Heat Makers. And that record was that just brought the best out of me too. I really got a little angry on that one in the beginning, because people think like, just put an album out. Come on, what are you waiting for? Just do an album. But you want to create something that lasts the test of time, you know? And I could have been put any albums out, put any songs, put a bunch of songs together just to say I put an album out. But I wanted to put something out that really can be heard, just like how Do or Die is, and other records that I have done. 20 years from now, I'll be like, wow, you still feel some kind of emotion in it. Like it'll strike a chord somewhere.
Best music always does. Found my niche after about 3 decades. You found your niche.
I had to leave that mark to let people know that, you know, this is where it all came from. I found it in search of life itself. I fell in love with poetry, but look at what I went through to really find it. So it just shows you through trials and tribulations come to triumph. You know what I mean? So I really try to dictate it from, you know, me being a little kid in the summertime, raised up by older G's and going through, you know, lessons of life and seeing how a crack destroyed the community and how, you know, you can get caught up in an energy that can make you other than yourself, you know, and just make you an ugly person with your own flesh and blood wouldn't know who you are because you became, you know, a part of something else, a part of an energy that wasn't real, and to be brought back into reality and being spared just from life itself, being spared from all the pitfalls that life, you know, designed for those of color, and to really triumph over that and be like, wow, I'm here to really be the voice of the voiceless. And I would never thought music was it. Like for some, it's being a politician. For some, it's whatever it may be to give your contributions to the community. That hip hop really saved my life. And hopefully through it, I can save your life by speaking the right words that can penetrate your thoughts and make you think different and move different, no matter who you are, male or female or whatever, and just add on, you know? That was the goal for that and how I became right here.
You know, that's the joy of the job. And like we do different aspects of hip hop, but hip hop really saves lives. It really builds. It allows. There's so much positivity that comes out of it, man. That's as real a talk as talk gets. So,
facts.
I appreciate that little extra. Man, this one. So the final track, which is a bonus track, "What's Good" featuring T-Pain. And first, I got to say, man, because I don't know if you watched. There was a pop music documentary that came out on Netflix where T-Pain. It made some headlines. He was talking about how Usher almost really made him want to quit music by talking about, you know, and so many people talking about how he like ruined hip hop and things like that. But now, like the T-Pain hate has kind of curbed. It's like I can't find a T-Pain hater now, right? But
right.
You know, talk about, I guess, just your observation of like T-Pain's journey to acceptance in hip hop.
I mean, T-Pain is another chapter in this forever growing culture of hip hop. And he made a mark, and I guess, you know, like Scarface said, you know, point your fingers at the bad guy. This is the last time you see a bad guy like this, right? So he had fingers pointed at him, but he found his own lane, right? 'Cause that's what music is about, finding your own creativity and expressing it the way you want to express it, no matter how, you know, as long as you have a fan base that kind of accept you good. To me, he's a great singer without the auto-tune, but he found his niche. With the auto-tune, nobody was doing it. So it's about finding your niche. Like, okay, I'm the first one to do it. It's the first one to do a lot of things, right? Be it whatever it is, and he capitalized off it. And, you know, everybody want to point a finger at the end of the day, but full circle, they know he really could sing and he's a great creator. And when I sent this, you know, Rockwaller kind of gave me the beat, and I had the record like 2 years. That was one that I had like 2 years ago, and I sent it to him. I'm like, I want to work with him. I didn't know what he was gonna sing, but when he sent that back, it was so relevant to what was going on overall, and just everyday life, not just in hip hop, but mainly in hip hop too. But it's just like, you know, we all either we say we want to live, we want to get out the hood, but then we right back in the hood. We living or we dying. Like, what are we doing? Like, ask yourself that question. Like, yo, I'm lit, I'm living, but we always hearing about a death, and we hearing about the wars going on amongst each other that always been going on. But why? Like, so I just really added my narrative to it, and that's really, regardless of what, that's a record that touched me because it means so more than just the music, and you want to bop your head, and you want to, like, I got that. I got them records. You know what I mean? I got them records want to bop your head, or you want rhyme schemes and flows. But this record is like, come on, man. What the fuck is we doing, man? Like, what are we doing? You living? You dying? What are we doing? You know what I mean? And it sums up the do or die. We getting the money. What we getting it for? Is we putting it back in the community, or we just doing it to shit on our peoples, or like what's really good?
Man, that's a great track to close on too. And yeah. And will there be a DOD 3?
You know what? I was thinking about that, and you know, I was told earlier today that like I'm number 2 on the selling chart, and I was like, wow, you know, I know it's hard to get Drake out that spot, which is number 1 spot, but I'm number 2. And since I got their ears now, I think I'm gonna do it or die tweet.
Wow.
You the first one I'm telling, but you the first one I'm telling, and I'm gonna do it sooner than people think.
Man.
And it's gonna be a classic. It's not nothing I just want to throw together and just. It's gonna be a classic. Remember I told you that, like it's gonna be a classic.
Oh man. So
guaranteed.
I don't miss anything. So before you found that out, were you thinking of retiring?
I just was like, okay, I could do movies and put my own songs in the movies. This is my mind, right? I want to shoot movies next. I want to be in movies. I'll do the soundtrack to my, So I was like, you know, my genre, you know, do they really buy music? They really listen to music? This is in my head, you know. Younger kids, they carry the torch. Okay, cool. I got a little fan base over here. I'm gonna do. So yeah, I was going forward, but then it's like, yo, music is about expression, about creation. I can do this forever. Like, I'm not really even. It was different when I was doing it for the sales and all that. Which, of course, I do want to make money. Me being independent, I put my own money in. But at the same time, I love hip hop, man. I love the culture. I love it. Like, I love it. I live for it.
Hey, welcome back, man. Happy to have it. Happy to have it. That's beautiful.
You, and I appreciate it, man.
And then the last thing for you, we're all about celebrating greatness, and we recently lost Michael K. Williams. I was just curious, you guys living in the same region, if your paths ever intersected,
right.
If you had any stories about the
No,
late
I don't have
Michael
no
K.
stories. I think I ran to him a couple of parties and like dapped it up, but we never really, you know, hung out. Me personally, I'm like an introvert, man. Honestly, like I try to stay out of harm's way, and you know, I learned that as being young, like you know, less said is best said. If it's not business oriented, when it comes to me, I really sometimes fall back, which could be a minus, right? But it could be a plus too. But so I haven't interacted with so many. Cause I try to preserve my energy and just my aura. But the minus is I don't get to meet these great people as much. You know, I know a lot of great people, though, I get it twisted, but it's so much more and so much more greatness being developed that I want to put myself out there more. I just want to put myself in the right spaces and places, you know. But I get out more and meet more. But yes, I shook a lot of hands, and you know, I exchanged a lot of conversation with a lot of people. But I missed out on a lot of the great stories I be hearing. You know, when Fat Joe gets to talking, or a lot of people. I love like when Killer Mike or David Banner or even Nori, when they start talking, I love them stories. Even LL, like I love them fucking stories. I'm like, I got stories too now. Don't get it twisted, but their stories are so beautiful and like, wow, you know?
Love it. Well,
yes,
AZ,
my brother.
Thank you so much, man. Congrats on the album, especially that it's number 2. Man.
Yeah.
Hip hop is alive.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes,
Likewise.
sir. Appreciate you.
Be well.
Peace.